Welcome to Football Fanatics. I'm your host, Vincent, and today we're looking at the Washington football team and their roster coming into 2021. And that starts with their big free agent acquisition, Ryan Fitzmagic, in the offseason. He is coming in to mentor Taylor Heinicke and also probably will get the start this year. Now, he does have some consistency issues that prevent him from being your elite franchise guy. And that's why you're hoping Taylor Heinicke can take a big step up and eventually become that high upside mobile starter like a Patrick Mahomes, like an Aaron Rodgers. Now, his receiving core is Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Adam Humphries, and Logan Thomas. Terry McLaurin is one of your big number one targets that can separate at a high level, can really beat anyone one-on-one, demands a double team. And we saw him even get open a decent amount last year when you didn't have a Curtis Samuel at number 2. And so he's going to really provide the upside for this offense, as it's kind of similar to what you have in Green Bay with Davante Adams, where you struggle to cover that number one guy. Then you got Curtis Samuel, which you take in from Carolina, just north of that 10 mil a year mark. And he's adequate for a number 2, maybe a little bit above adequate. You aren't going to really struggle with those number 1 and number 2 guys. However, the fear is that Adam Humphries isn't really a guy you want to see out there all that often. So you're wondering, can Curtis Samuel really carry the load that he needs to kind of cover up from Adam Humphries' mistakes? And then you got Logan Thomas in there. Not a ton to talk about there, but he is a nice, big Kyle Rudolph type option where he's not going to separate at a high level, but he has that jump ball ability where he was able to go up on a third down and find the football. Your offensive line is nothing too great to write home about, and you don't have any depth at wide receiver, especially if something were to happen to Terry McLaurin. You'd be in a very big struggle zone. However, you got decent running back depth. You got Gibson and McKissick in the backfield that they'll provide enough. And the hope is between that and your defense, you have an adequate enough offense to win the NFC East. Speaking of the defense, let's go to that half of the ball. And this really starts with the defensive line. You get Chase Young back from last year, hoping to take a big step up coming into his second year in the season. And you got fellow first rounders, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, and Montez Sweat. The hope is that these 4, like they did last year, can really pressure the quarterback and prevent them from exposing the secondary. And they will do that at a high level, as you got currently last year, you don't see any huge move like elite Aaron Donald. You're hoping Chase Young can reach his elite upside that you drafted him as the 2nd overall with, but that's an unknown. So even if he doesn't, though, it's not going to be the end of the world, as having 4 quality guys will prevent the opponent from having time in the pocket. At linebacker, you got John Bostic, Jamian Davis, and Cole Holcomb. Well, you lose Kevin Pierre-Louis in free agency. You replace him with Jamian Davis, which you're hoping in the long run will be an upgrade. Now, you see how much this team cares about the center of the field, being that they spent 5 first-round picks at Jamian Davis, a middle linebacker, and on the D-line. Now, Jamian Davis has the upside to be one of the good cover linebackers, like a Bobby Wagner, like an Eric Kendricks, whoever you want to throw into that top conversation of cover linebackers. He also has the speed to almost play like a slot corner. The problem being, his first year in the league, it's one of these developmental positions that you are expecting him to take a little bit. So you aren't expecting a stellar performance out of him in his first year. So you don't really know what you got there. John Bostic and Cole Holcomb are fine starters, especially at linebacker. They aren't going to make a ton of difference in the passing game or in the run game. They'll do their job, nothing more, nothing less. Then you got in the secondary, you got Kendall Fuller playing slot cornerback and Kendall Fuller playing outside corner because I completely forgot to rewrite that. But, you do have a solid slot cornerback. I don't have him in front of me. But you got William Jackson III and Cameron Curl and Landon Collins. They're fine on defense, especially with this offense or defensive line. They'll provide enough coverage for most teams that I think this team can get to a 9-8, 8-9 season, where you in the NFC East, you might be able to slip into the playoffs. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.